What is the difference if we're going to subtract 8 and 4 over 6 from 15 and 1/3? Is it letter A, 6 and 1/3? Or letter B, 6 and 2/3? Or letter C, 7 and 1/3? Or letter D, 7 and 2/3? What is your answer?
Hi there, I'm Jason, and you're watching
Jason! 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 Jason!
So in answering this particular question, all you need to do is to be familiar with the different cases when we are going to subtract fractions. So the first case is when we're going to subtract similar fractions. So just like the given example, 5 over 10 minus 3 over 10. So they are called similar fractions because they have the same denominator, 10. So parehas lang denominator, mao na ang gitawag og similar fractions. So in subtracting such fractions, all you just need to do is to copy the common denominator, so 10, and then just subtract their numerators. So 5 minus 3, that's 2. And then you evaluate your answer. You ask yourself, is the answer still reducible? Well, if it is, then you have to reduce your answer to its lowest form. So 2 and 10 are both divisible by 2. So their GCF is 2. So you have to divide the numerator 2 by 2. So 2 divided by 2, that's 1. And then the denominator 10 by 2. So 10 divided by 2, that's 5. Therefore, the lowest form of the answer for this particular example is 1/5. So this is the answer for this particular exercise. Now, let's have one more example. Let's subtract 8 over 9 by 2 over 9. So again, just copy their denominator, 9, and then subtract their numerator. So 8 minus 2, that's 6, and then simplify your answer. So 6 over 9 can still be simplified into 2 over 3. So their GCF is 3. So 6 divided by 3, that's 2, and then 9 divided by 3, that's 3. So this is our answer for this particular example. Dali na, no? What if we're gonna subtract these similar fractions? So as what you can see in the example, the denominator here is 4, while this one is 2. So what are we gonna do? So you have to transform these two fractions first into similar fractions so that you could subtract them. So how are we going to do that? So let's find first their LCD. What is LCD, or the lowest number which is divisible by 4 and 2? It's 4, right? Because 4 is both divisible by 4 and also 2. So and then after getting their LCD, you're gonna divide the LCD by each of the denominators, and then you have to multiply the numerators. So just like this. So 4 divided by 4, that's 1, and then times 3, that's 3. So you're gonna write your answer here. And then 4 divided by 2, that's 2, and then times 1, that's 2. So as what you can see, you have, or we have already transformed them from the similar fractions to similar fractions, and now we can now apply the rules in subtracting similar fractions. So just copy the denominator 4 and then subtract the numerator. So 3 minus 2, that's 1. So that's why the answer for this particular example is 1/4. All right. Now let's have one more example. What if we're going to subtract 2/3 from 6 over 7? So again, let's find their LCD first, or lowest common denominator, or the least common denominator. So the least number that is both divisible by 7 and 3 is 21, right? So mo na imong ibutang sa ilang bagong denominators. And then 21 divided by 7, that's 3, times 6, that's 18. 21 divided by 3, that's 7, and then times 2, that's 14. And then evaluate the operation. So copy 21, and then 18 minus 4, that's 18 minus 14, that's 4. So that's why the answer is 4 over 21. Now, is this still reducible? Dili na. So therefore, this is our final answer. All right. Now, what about this one? What if we're gonna subtract mixed numbers? Now, how are we gonna subtract them? So just subtract their whole numbers first. So 10 minus 4, that's 6. And then 5 minus 3, that's 2. and then just copy the common denominator nga 7. So this is our answer for this particular example, diba? Sayon ra siya ka ayo. What about this? What if they have dissimilar fractions? So what are we going to do? So in solving this, you have to look for their LCD first. So what is the LCD of 10 and 2? It's 10. Because 10 is both divisible by 10 as well as 2, right? So 10 divided by 10, that's 1, and then times 9, that's 9. And then 10 divided by 2, that's 5, times 1, that's 5. So we have now transformed these two fractions, these two mixed numbers, into similar fractions. So as what you can see, pareha naman sila denominators, so we can carry out the operations. So 7 minus 5, subtract first their whole numbers, so that's 2. And then copy their common denominators, 10, and then 9 minus 5, that's 4. So therefore, if we're going to subtract these two mixed numbers, the answer is 2 and 4 over 10. But this is still simplifiable or reducible. So we're still going to reduce 4 over 10. So let's divide both of them by 2 because 2 is the greatest common factor of 4 and 10. So copy 2, and then 4 divided by 2, that's 2, and then 10 divided by 2, that's 5. So this is our answer. Now what about this? What if we're going to subtract mixed numbers wherein the fractional part of the minuend is lesser than the fractional part of the subtrahend, though they are similar fractions? So what are you going to do? So in this case, all you just need to do is to transform this whole number 8 into a mixed number. So this can be written as 4 and 4 over 4, and then plus 1/4. Nganong na 4 over 4 man, this man tag 4 over 4. So 4 is the denominator of its fractional part. So diba, if we're going to simplify this, 4 over 4, that is just equal to 1. And then plus 7, that's 8. So mabalik lang siya sa 8 and 1/4, right? So we need to do this so that we could add this fractional part to this fractional part also, which is lesser than the fractional part of the subtrahend, para mas madako ni siya. Because if we're gonna simplify this, so this becomes 7, and 4 plus 1, that's 5, and then copy the common denominator 4. So 5 over 4 is now greater than 3 over 4. So we can now carry out the subtraction nga operation, right? So let's subtract 7 and 5 over 4 minus 3 and 3 over 4, or 3/4. So what are we gonna do? We are going to subtract their whole numbers first. So 7 minus 3, that's 4, and then 5 minus 3, that's 2. Then copy the common denominator 4, and we could still reduce this, so this becomes 4 and 1/2, because the GCF of 2 and 4 is 2. So 2 divided by 2, that's 1, and then 4 divided by 2, that's 2. So this is our answer for this particular example. So diba, dali ra siya ka ayo. Now what about this? What if we're going to subtract a fraction from a whole number? So similar to what we did earlier, we need to transform 8 into a mixed number so that we could subtract this fractional part to the fractional part of our newly formed mixed number. So 7 and 5 over 5 is basically just equal to 8, right? Because again, if we're gonna simplify this, this becomes 1, and then plus 7, that's 8. And then this atagikag 5 sa denominator, and this will be our basis in writing the fractional part of the mixed number. And then minus 2/5. So we can now carry out the operation. So just copy 7 since there is no whole number in this subtrahend, and then just copy 5 because that is the common denominator, and then subtract the numerator. So 5 minus 2, that's 3. So therefore, this is now our answer for this particular exercise, right? Now what about this one? What if we're going to subtract a mixed number from a whole number? So I transform this first into mixed numbers, so 6 and 8 over 8, so minus 1 and 3 over 8, and then subtract their whole number. So 6 minus 1, that's 5, and then 8 over 8 minus 3 over 8, that's 5 over 8, right? So this is now our answer for this particular example. Now what about this one? What if we're going to subtract a whole number from a mixed number? So binali. So ang mixed number na po, mao na po minusan og whole number. How are we gonna do it? Just subtract their whole number. So 4 minus 2, that's 2. And then just copy the fractional part, which is 1/3. So inga na ra siya. This is the answer. So again, ug gani gali mixed number minus ag whole number, just subtract their whole number. So 4 minus 2, that's 2, and then just copy the fractional part. Alright? Now this time, let's go back to our question of the day. Let's subtract 15 and 1/3 by 8 and 4/6. Now, as what you can see on the screen, the fractional parts of these two mixed numbers are dissimilar fractions, right? Because they have different denominators. And you also have to take note that if we're going to simplify 4/6, this becomes 2/3, which is greater than the whole, the fractional part, of this mixed number. So if this is the case, mag-unsa naman punta na ani? So we are gonna transform this one first into 15 into a mixed number, kaning whole number nga 15, and then we're gonna add its fractional part to 1/3 so that this fractions becomes greater than this one, right? So this becomes 14 and 3/3, so that's just equivalent to 15 and plus 1/3, right? Minus 8 and 4/6. So diretso na ni siya nato because again, if we're gonna simplify this, this becomes 2/3, which is greater than 1/3. So nag-advanced thinking na ta, ani. And then let's simplify this one. So 14 and 3/3 plus 1/3, that's 14 and 4/3. So 14, copy 3 plus 1, 4, and then copy the common denominator 3 minus 8 and 4/6. So since they are still dissimilar fractions, we're gonna convert this two into similar fractions. So copy 14. The LCD of 3 and 6 is 6, right? Because 6 is both divisible by 6 and also 3. So 6 divided by 3, that's 2 times 4, that's 8. And then 6 divided by 6, that's 1 times 4, that's 4. Then subtract their whole numbers. So 14 minus 8, that's 6. And then 8 minus 4, that's 4/6. Copy the denominator. And then this is still simplifiable. So 6 and 2/3 because we only copy 6, and then 4 and 6 are both divisible by 2. So 4 divided by 2, that's 2. And 6 divided by 2, that's 3. So this is our answer for the question of the day. So therefore, the correct answer is letter B, 6 and 2/3. Alright? So this time, I want you to try this one. Try to subtract 20 and 1/6 by 7 and 1/4. And then you may comment your answer in the comment section below. That's all for now. Thank you, more power, and let's keep learning.